Okay, good morning everyone. Shalom Aleichem, Bruchim Abam. We're continuing in Mishna Berura, Daf Hashavua. We're learning Siman, Ayin, Dalid, Sif, Hey, and Vav. Here we go. Shar Evar Vroim es ha'erva mutar. Other limbs seeing the erva is mutar. In other words, your heart can't see your erva. Doesn't say anywhere that your kidneys, your liver, your spleen can't see your erva. It's only libay roya es ha'erva is a problem. Avalim eza me'evar v'noigeya bein be'ervasai bein be'ers chaveroi also lukrois kriya shema ilaspal. Now we're learning another halacha. That if any of your limbs are touching your erva, or someone else's, you cannot say Shema or daven Shemone Esrei. So you say, well, the biology of a person is such that their thighs are touching their erva. The thigh that the erva rests on, you need to be mafsik with a garment, or distance it, so that the gid, the male member, is not touching the thigh. So the first, we're encountering a number of halachas. Number one, that there's no issue if any other limb sees the erva. In other words, let's say you're wearing a robe and there's a belt, but the leg sees the erva, doesn't matter. Right, so Leimer says, there's no requirement that the erva be put in some kind of separate cover. You don't have to wear, let's say, undergarment in order that no other part of the body sees the erva. There's no such din. Now, however, if any of the limb is touching whether your erva or the erva of your friend, it's a problem. The gazrina negias shari var mishum negias yadav. You know what the reason for this? It's a gezeira. Because if your hand is touching your erva, you can't say Shema Shemone Esrei. So we're geyser other evarim atu your hands. Unegias yadav, and what's the isser if the hand is touching an erva to daven and learn? So I would have said because it's touching b'makam ha'mechusa b'guf. No, that's not the issue. The issue is negias yadav shelo yavo they hear her. Fine. Now the issue seems to be if the legs are touching the member. But what if they're touching the scrotum? They're touching the kiss. Hagid shalem aval benegia de kiss ein lahakbid. If the hand is touching the kiss, it's not an issue. De ein lachush by mishum hirer. We're not concerned of hirer when it comes to that makaim. V'hamedaktikin gamazah. Those who are careful about this as well. Ki yesh cholkim. There are those who are chaylek. Uv'diavad yatsa film naga hagid b'hayir chayim. B'diavad, if the member itself is touching the thigh, one is yoytzei primagadam adasa prichadash hamuval abasim na'in gimel mishmasuv katan dalid. And the reason is because it's not an isur dairais of loyer b'cha'er v'astavar. It's because we're afraid. The Dirshu explains Shema Yitared. Therefore, b'diavad emkara yatsa sivav. Haisa talisai chagura al masnav l'chasoisai mimasnav mata. Somebody was wearing a garment, a talis, a drape around his waist to cover from his waist down. So think about it. There's no giloy erva, there's no roya nesa erva, and there's no libay roya nesa erva. Basically, the guy's wearing a skirt, and that's it. So, or a pair of pants. His chest is uncovered. So is there an issue now? Even though he's bare from his waist and up, mutter likros kriya shema. Now that doesn't mean in the Masifta you're going to be able to get into your high school and get past the Menahel. Doubtful. But you could say Shema. Now we're learning another din. When it comes to Shemone Esrei, The heart has to be covered. The chest must be covered. Says the Mishna Berura, "Mimasna v'lamata ratzoleimar afilu rak ad lamata me'arvasai." Now this skirt, this garment that you're draped in, it doesn't go all the way down to the floor. It's mini. It goes only below the erva. The bezed dai midina l'kriya shema. So basically, halach l'maisa, if a man is wearing underwear, he could say Shema, period. If that's his only garment. Halach l'maisa, he could say the Shema. Aval l'tfila tzarch she'mechusa kol gufay. For Shemone Esrei, his whole body has to be covered. Does that mean he shouldn't say Shemone Esrei wearing shorts? Sounds like that. Does it mean he shouldn't be wearing a t-shirt that goes up to here? Sounds like that. It's not mechasa kol gufay. So in other words, if somebody's not feeling well, they're davening at home, they have their, they're wearing a pair of pajama pants, and they put on their tzitzis on top of their undershirt, shouldn't daven marav that way. It's not mechasa kol gufay. Why? Because most of their upper arm is uncovered. There seems to be a din by Shemone Esrei, you need kisoy kol aguf. Do you need the lower arm to be covered? I don't think so. You don't have to cover your forehead. Okay, afalpi, fine. Now, even though from the waist and up, he's araim. Now, 1 second. Now this guy who's saying Shema in his underwear, we're not saying, oh, mamish, you're a tzaddik, shkoyach for putting on a beged to say the Kriya Shema. L'chatchila, he should try to get a little bit more dressed. B'makem atchak, he could say the Shema. Dilav hachi enochem l'chatchila lasis kein, afilu be'eza bracha. You shouldn't say any bracha that way. V'choshe kein b'Kriya Shema. By the way, this is mashma, Rav Scheinberg is medayik, that you shouldn't say any bracha, but l'chachila you can learn Torah wearing a pair of underwear. But the Mishna Berura later on says that even for other divrei kedusha, it would be the same. The Shaus Tshuvas Az Nidbaru brings that there's a din by Talmud Torah that it should be learned be'emo v'yira, therefore yesh l'chasos kol gufay. It's hard to say that that's a halacha, that the din of be'emo v'yira would require you to be mechasa kol gufay. What if a person davened just in his underwear? Is he yotzei b'di'eved? The Shulchan Aruch says later on, Siman Sadi Aleph, that as long as you cover the erva, you're yotzei. But l'chadchila, it's better not to daven. What if this man tefillah is passing and all you have is a pair of underwear and the pants are coming later? Don't daven. Better not to daven. Reb Chaim Kanievsky says better not to daven. Mutter likrois. You're allowed to say Shema kivan she'arvas mechusa v'gam atalis mafsekes ben libay le'erba. Libay, when the Mechaber says, but for Shemone you have to cover your heart, hu adin kol gufay, your whole body. V'nakat libay aidi de reisha. The reason to pick the heart is agav the reisha. The b'kriya Shema ein tzarich l'chasis ribay. V'tam de tefila chamura. V'lefi shebetfila tzarich lirois es atzmai ka'oimed lefnei hamelech umedabrim. By tefila, you need to see yourself like you're standing in front of the king and speaking to him. Shetzarich lamed be'ema aval b'kriya Shema einoi medaber lefnei hamelech. When you're saying Shema, it is a personal recitation, but you're not talking to the king. Okay, this completes Siman Ayin Dalid, and Bez Hashem, next week on Monday, we're going to learn Siman Ayin Hey. Have a great Shabbos, everyone. Shkayach.
Recording stopped.
Good.